The wonder of the world's forests is often found in the creatures that live in them. But the most rare and precious of animals are increasingly falling prey to poachers. The UN now classifies the trafficking of exotic wildlife as second only in scale to the illegal drug trade. So vast and lucrative is this black market underworld that authorities say it's driving more species than ever into extinction. While there have been seizures and arrests, only one criminal kingpin has ever been caught: Anson Wong, aka the Lizard King. In 2012, Wong won himself an early release from prison, and by many accounts has returned to his old ways.
Why is Anson Wong untouchable? And why is our wildlife being destroyed in this manner?
In a year-long investigation, we go undercover to hunt the hunter. And to infiltrate his international syndicate, responsible for putting the world's wildlife at risk. I'm Steve CHAO. On this edition of 101 East, we follow the trafficker's trail from across Asia here to Madagascar on the hunt for one of the world's most notorious wildlife traffickers. In all his years of trafficking, there is one place the Lizard King has always returned to. Bali Bay lies in a remote corner of Madagascar, off the southeast coast of Africa. It's home to the plowshare, the world's rarest tortoise. That distinction makes them target number one for Anson Wong. We've come with members of DURRELL, a conservation group spearheading the fight to save the species. Robert BOUROU and his team used radio receivers to track the ones they've managed to tag. It's estimated there are only 400 adults left in the wild. The plowshare are made especially vulnerable because they're only found in this small area of sand, bamboo, and scrubland.
Oh, right there.
The first we come upon,
It's a tiny one.
turns out to be just a few months old. Some of those who've worked with Anson Wong in the past tell us that he calls the rare species he collects goodies, while the plowshare tortoise is perhaps the most valuable of all goodies. When this guy or girl grows up to be an adult, he or she could be worth tens of thousands of US dollars. I'm gonna put this one back. DURRELL says smugglers, including Wong, started coming to these shores in the 1980s, just as the group was publishing reports over how endangered this species had become. Endangered means high profits for poachers, and BOUROU believes Wong has made millions selling plowshares off to the illegal pet trade. Their beautiful shells make it easy to see why they're considered the jewel in the crown of the reptile world. So when you hear about people like Anson Wong making lots of money from these plowshare tortoises, what does that do in your mind? What does that do to your heart?
In my mind, it's not nice to tell that, but I want to take a gun and kill him.
You feel that strongly about it?
Yeah.
He's done that much damage to the plowshare tortoise.
It's very, very damage our work for a long time.
Nearby at DURRELL's breeding and rescue center, we find pens full of plowshares that were saved from poachers. The rate of smuggling is so high, this year Madagascar's government forbid the group from releasing any back into the wild. In the lab, there is a photo, warning workers to be on the lookout for this man. It's Anson Wong.
That photograph is there in terms of, you know, if this man turns up, be careful.
In 1996, 72 plowshares were stolen from this center in the most brazen reptile robbery in history. While no one was ever caught, Wong was later found trying to sell a number of them.
He's almost public enemy number one for us in terms of his reputation. Even if half the stories are true, then the scale of operation this man's been operating around the world and in Madagascar is mind-blowing.
It was a shipment of plowshares to the US, among some other exotic animals, that led to the Lizard King's first arrest in 1998. It followed a 5-year undercover sting, where wildlife officers posed as dealers to lure Wong, a Malaysian citizen, to America. In court, officers testified Wong promised them he could get anything from anywhere. In the end, he pled guilty to 40 counts of illegally importing endangered species and was sentenced to almost 6 years in prison.
He's an old-timer in the market, smart, cunning guy, getting old and reckless in the market, and he doesn't trust anybody.
This man, who we'll call X, worked with Wong for years and describes what drives him.
It's more about profit, and it's more about the sensation when you smuggle something out of the country and you get it done and you collect the money.
X agreed to tell us about Wong's past and current operations, so long as we protect his identity. And you're sure that Anson Wong today is still smuggling despite the fact that he's served time in jail in the US?
Yes, I'm sure, very sure about it, because the leopard doesn't change his spot.
Besides the plowshare, Madagascar is also home to many other unique species. 90% of the country's animals are found nowhere else in the world. An irresistible draw, says X, for the Lizard King. And so it's in Madagascar's capital we begin gaining access to his network and tracking down a man who, since being caught, has learned to be far more elusive. But we're off to meet someone who's promised to take us to some smugglers. His job is to pack the tortoises before shipment. We've told him that we're interested buyers, so he believes that he's taking some customers to meet his bosses. Appearing nervous, the man guides us through the crowded streets to a factory.
Mario, nice to meet you. Hey.
Mario introduces himself as a businessman. Using hidden cameras, we film his operation, which he says exports seafood and reptiles. We also learn he's the son of a presidential candidate.
I know someone in Malaysia. I don't know his name.
In his office, Mario is the first to mention the man we're after.
Anson.
Ah, okay.
You know him?
How do you know him?
Last 10 years ago, I introduced him someone.
Mario offers to put us in touch with one of his associates. The next evening, we meet that associate in a hotel room, where he presents us with samples. They're radiated tortoises, the second most endangered in Madagascar. According to international law, exporting them from the country is illegal. Still, the dealer promises not only a steady supply, but hundreds per shipment.
Can he take pictures?
He also says his contacts at the airport will ensure they get through security checks.
I asked my customer to get them. Okay. He told me to try here.
It confirms something X told us earlier. But what about customs in all these countries?
All these customs are paid off.
They're paid off.
Yes, they're paid off. When you need to get something done, you need to pay them. If not, you can't get them out.
But they're supposed to be enforcing.
They are used to be enforcer, but they are also corrupted.
Both X and the dealer explain the typical route for smuggling, saying carriers or mules check in the tortoises in suitcases in Madagascar. From there, he says the bags transit through a number of other cities, like Dar es Salaam and Dubai, before entering Asia. Wong's shipments, we're told, end up in his home country of Malaysia, where they are then sold on to buyers around the world. We promise to meet again with Mario's associate. In the meantime, we're off to see someone even more intricately involved with Wong's smuggling syndicate.
Oui?
Sarah SAHONDRARISOA says she was once an unwitting participant in Wong's criminal dealings. A student from Madagascar desperate for money, she says she agreed to meet him at this hotel. It just happens to be the one we met Mario's dealer in.
So this is the hotel where you stayed,
Yes, this is Tanah Jakarta.
Tanah Jacaranda. And this is where you met Anson Wong. Yes?
Back in 2010, Sarah says she and another woman were taken to a room and offered $400 each to carry shipments for Wong to Malaysia. The cases, she says, were packed without her involvement.
I only knew it was animals, but I didn't ask the details as to which kind of animals were inside.
That year, Sarah made 2 trips. During the first one, she says Anson himself picked her up at the airport in his hometown of Penang.
The day of my arrival, he was at the airport with his friend, a policeman working there. His friend took the luggage I brought, but I never touched it.
Sarah says he and his friend drove her to a house believed to be the headquarters of the Lizard King's international operations. A photo of her posted on a Facebook page listed as Anson Wong's suggests the two developed a close rapport. But Sarah insists the relationship was strictly professional. Sarah does admit that Wong was well known to have a penchant for women. But more than his affairs, what surprised her, she says, was how extensive his wildlife operation was.
When I got out of the room, I realized there were lots of animals inside the house. Reptiles, tortoises, centipedes, and all kinds of chameleons. Then I saw in front a shop where they sell furniture.
To this day, Wong's sister-in-law continues to run a furniture shop in Penang, like the one Sarah describes. Beside it is Aerofleet, a company specializing in shipping animals, run by Anson and his wife. While their first trip in 2010 proved uneventful, Sarah says it was her second trip to Malaysia a few weeks later that things went wrong. Soon after touching down, customs officials singled her out.
Before we could take away the luggage, it was picked for inspection. And they saw it was not simple luggage, but was full of animals.
Among the cash, authorities found 300 radiated tortoises and a number of plowshare. Sarah was convicted of smuggling and was jailed for 8 months. Pregnant at the time, she had her child in prison. It's an experience she doesn't want to talk about. Despite giving her statement to police clearly implicating Wong and police confiscating a cell phone from her with his numbers, Wong was never tried.
It is tough. Every time I cry, I always say to myself, if I ever see him again, I may kill him.
The same year that Sarah was arrested, the Lizard King himself ran afoul of the law. In a separate incident, Wong was caught with dozens of snakes on a plane, for which he had no licenses for. A raid of his properties uncovered even more. A Malaysian judge gave him a 5-year sentence, but he served just 17 months. In that time, though, X says Wong lost his place at the top of the wildlife smuggling world.
People used to say that he was the Pablo Escobar of the wildlife trade. Where does he rank today? Is he a big-time player, or is he a...
He's still a big-time player, but in my personal view, he's the second big-time player in this line, in this trade now.
According to sources, one of the Lizard King's biggest customers lives in Indonesia's bustling capital. We arrive just as the city is hosting a reptile exhibit. Despite this being a government-sanctioned event, it doesn't take long for us to find illegal animals for sale, including tortoises from Madagascar. Still undercover as a dealer, we head for one of the biggest booths, where we sit down for a meeting with Daniel Kanuwijaja.
You know Anson? How do you know Anson?
Oh,
Long time.
long time, 30 years.
Not only does Daniel readily admit the two work together, but we notice he's also wearing a shirt from Madagascar.
Anson doesn't go.
Anson, same.
Still doing it now. Yeah. Yeah.
Then, something that surprises even us. Daniel admits the 2010 shipment of snakes which landed Anson in prison was destined for his shop.
He jail in KL.
Yeah.
It's my snake. He take, I pay him. He take girl. Take your biggest. Oh, many snake boa.
They were your snakes.
Yeah.
I read about that online.
Daniel also claims that after his last conviction, Wong's wife has increasingly taken over the operations.
He wife for reptile.
Oh, his wife
Yeah,
sells
yeah.
reptiles. Okay. All right. And if it works out.
It's time to get a little closer. Our first stop is Wong's rural property in Penang's back hills. We need to see whether he's returned to his life of crime, as some say, or leading a reformed life. As we get closer, we go in by foot through the jungle.
In 2010, when law enforcement officers busted into this place, they found 2 Bengal tigers as well as a crocodile. And the question now is that sort of thing still going on here?
There are people everywhere. One man comes within a few feet of us.
I'm not sure if he's patrolling or whether he's just another construction worker. But the fact that he's walking along the fence makes it a little bit worrisome that maybe he's guarding the place. We just don't know. And we can't chance it right now.
We turn back to try another route. An hour later, after hiking through the hills, we stumble on a number of cages. And then we spot an enclosure. There's a tortoise inside, evidence that Wong is at least keeping animals. Further on, we find a row of newer enclosures. It's hard to make out what they are, so we creep closer. The animals have distinctive ears. We show our photos later to experts, who tell us these are serval cats from North Africa. Following his 2010 conviction, Malaysia's government banned Wong and his wife, Che Bing Shi, from holding business and wildlife trading permits.
Minister, I want to just pass you this press statement from your wildlife department.
Yeah.
We showed a press statement issued at the time to the country's environment minister. Despite being from Wong's hometown, he says he's never heard of the infamous smuggler.
I do not know who this person is. I never came across him, but only today I was told about this chap, you see.
Still, the minister supports the decision.
Our ministry has taken the right move in cancelling the business license and the permit.
And from your understanding, is this long-standing, that he's not going to get a chance to do this again?
I hope not, because we won't know, you see. People can do many things illegally, you see, without our knowledge.
Yet someone in government did knowingly sign off on new licenses. Our search of public records found that both Anson and his wife have had several business permits renewed. From the Bukit Jumbo Reptile Sanctuary, to Aerofleet, to CBS Wildlife. Posing as customers, we visit the Penang address listed for the companies. There we find Anson's wife, Che Bing-shi. Almost immediately, she confirms she and her husband are still trading in wildlife.
我们也是有进口来卖呀，好像那个缸那些东西呀。
Our document search also uncovers another company, Rona Wildlife. It was formed after Wong's 2010 conviction. The listed owner is a name we don't recognize. But trading permits show it exports the same animals as Anson did to the same US customers he had before his arrest.
I think the door might be open, so.
Rona's address is listed on the upper floor of a commercial strip in Penang.
Yeah, there's somebody in there for sure.
From the street, we can make out aquariums and cages, leading us to believe animals are being kept there. But for days, we can find no way in. But then, a few days later, we get a break. With hidden cameras rolling, we decide to go in.
Hi there. How are you?
We find a worker.
Whoa! No way! What is that?
Who's more than happy to show off Rona's current stock. There are many albino pythons, some 30 feet long. All of them require permits.
Whoa, what's this called? Oh, that's beautiful. It's dangerous or no? No. Okay, no dangerous.
There are also many other snakes and lizards. And then we confirm the real person behind Rona.
So your boss is Mr. Wong? Mr. Wong. Okay. Anson Wong. Anson Wong. Now we've confirmed that this property is run and managed by Anson Wong and his wife.
We show our findings to N. Surendran, a lawyer and opposition member of parliament in Malaysia.
The fact that it's being done in open again indicates corruption.
For years, Surendran has publicly raised the need to investigate the country's wildlife department, Perhilatan, accusing them of aiding and abetting Wong.
So he seems to be able to operate above the law and beyond the law in Malaysia. How is that possible? It is impossible without the complicity of all the authorities.
If it turns out that you learn that top officials within your wildlife department are in fact complicit in aiding wildlife smugglers, what will you do?
If there is corruption, then I must go after it. You know, if anybody is corrupt, if anybody accepts bribes, then I must look into it.
No matter how powerful they may be?
I won't know, you see, because sometimes things can go just without my knowledge, you see. Anything else?
Throughout our year-long investigation, which involved lengthy stakeouts in several countries, we never caught sight of the Lizard King. This despite frequent reports from sources that he was in the area. Finally, we tracked him down in Penang.
Mr. Wong, Steve Chow from the program 101 East. How are you? We'd love to ask you a question if we can.
No.
Are you still involved in the trade of threatened or endangered species? Can we talk to you, sir? Can you tell us what Rona Wildlife is? And why are there albino pythons at Rona Wildlife when according to the government, you're not supposed to be trading in wildlife?
Well, ask the government.
Are you admitting?
Ask the government.
Are you saying you're doing anything wrong?
I have no comments. Ask Bukit Jumbo.
Ask Bukit Jumbo, is that your company?
I have several companies. Take your pick.
Including Rona Wildlife?
I have no comment.
Sir, are you still involved in the trade of threatened and endangered species?
Awesome.
You understand?
One of his workers, along with his wife, tries to stop us from filming.
Of this, you've served time in jail, sir?
Wong grows increasingly aggressive.
Implications. We are on public property, sir. Sir, we're on public property, sir. We are on public property.
Don't push me.
Sir, we are on public property. We are on public property, sir. Sir, we are on public property.
Just as quickly, though, he backs off.
Sir, and can you tell us what this box is for? Sir, these are serious questions. We understand that you have served time for a number of these crimes. And the question is, are you still involved in the trade of endangered species? It's the most we'll get from him. Sir. But not once did Wong deny he was back in the reptile trade. Some questions left unanswered is whether his dealings would be possible without the help of authorities, and why, despite her obvious involvement, his wife has never been brought up on charges. So you are the official owner then of Rona Wildlife?
To ask so many questions, you know.
Why is that, ma'am? What is clear is that the Lizard King and his associates continue to operate just as they have for decades, trading and selling off the world's most endangered creatures at will.